15,719 feet below the Atlantic surface, resting on the side of an extinct underwater volcano, lies what was once the most feared warship in the world. Bismarck, Germany's technological masterpiece, built to be unsinkable. Yet here it sits, upright on its keel, 4 massive gun turrets still attached, wooden deck planks somehow preserved in the crushing blackness. Here is the paradox. After absorbing nearly 3,000 shells and multiple torpedo hits from the entire British home fleet, the ship's hull remained largely intact. So what actually killed it? And why did it take 48 years to find out? May 27, 1941. The most intense naval hunt in history ends with Bismarck surrounded, burning, battered beyond recognition. The British claim their guns sent her down. German survivors insist they scuttled their own ship before the enemy could claim victory. For nearly 5 decades, it remained the greatest unsolved question of the Atlantic War. Then in June 1989, Robert Ballard, the same oceanographer who found Titanic, located the wreck nearly 3 miles down. What his cameras revealed would rewrite the final chapter of World War II's most legendary battleship. Quick note before we dive deeper. Real wartime footage and photos of specific ships and naval battles are limited, so some of the visuals you will see are representative, similar vessels, archival combat scenes, and deep-sea footage that help bring this story to life. The Bismarck was commissioned on August 24, 1940, after sliding down the ways in Hamburg on February 14, 1939. Named after Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor who unified Germany, this battleship was designed to embody ruthless efficiency. She was 823 feet long. She displaced 52,600 tons fully loaded. Her maximum speed was 30.8 knots. Her main battery consisted of 8 15-inch guns in 4 twin turrets. Each shell weighed 1,800 pounds. Her armor belt was 12.6 inches of Krupp steel. Of 2 planned Bismarck-class battleships, only she and Tirpitz were completed. Her crew numbered 2,300. The youngest was 16. Most would never see home again. On May 18, 1941, Bismarck departed with the heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen for Operation Rheinübung. The mission was to break into the North Atlantic and destroy Allied convoys. At 5:52 a.m. on May 24, 1941, HMS Hood and HMS Prince of Wales intercepted her in the Denmark Strait. By 5:55, both sides opened fire. Bismarck's 5th salvo struck HMS Hood near her main magazine. The ship exploded and sank in 3 minutes. Of 1,418 crew, only 3 survived. HMS Prince of Wales scored hits on Bismarck, 1 penetrating her bow and rupturing fuel tanks. Admiral Lütjens aborted the mission. Bismarck would make for Brest, France. The Royal Navy mobilized everything to stop her. On May 26th, Swordfish torpedo bombers from HMS Ark Royal attacked through brutal weather. At 8:47 in the evening, 1 torpedo jammed Bismarck's rudder. The most powerful battleship afloat could no longer steer. At 8:47 in the morning on May 27th, battleships HMS Rodney and HMS King George V opened fire. For 90 minutes, they poured shells into her. Heavy cruisers joined in. Approximately 2,876 shells were fired. Her superstructure collapsed. Fires consumed her. Yet impossibly, she remained afloat. The German crew made their decision, opened the seacocks, set demolition charges. At 10:36 in the morning, HMS Dorsetshire fired 3 final torpedoes. At 10:39 in the morning, Bismarck rolled to port and sank 400 miles west of Brest. Of 2,300 crew, only 110 survived. 2,190 men went down with her. Before we continue, a quick reminder. Subscribing is the easiest way to support the channel. It helps us dedicate more time to uncovering these sunken stories and preserving maritime history for everyone who loves the sea. Let's get back to the video. The question haunted everyone. Did British guns sink her, or did the German crew scuttle her first? Robert Ballard had already made history finding Titanic in 1985. 4 years later, in June 1989, he set out to solve the Bismarck mystery. His research vessel Starella carried advanced deep-tow sonar capable of scanning a search area of 200 square miles in the eastern Atlantic. The wreck could be anywhere in that vast expanse, nearly 16,000 feet deep. On June 8, 1989, sonar returns showed something massive on the seabed. Ballard's team deployed their remotely operated vehicle. The video feed came alive with images that made even seasoned researchers catch their breath. There she was, upright on her keel at coordinates approximately 48 degrees 10 minutes north, 16 degrees 12 minutes west. Not scattered across miles of ocean floor like so many warship wrecks, but intact, recognizable, imposing even in death. The wreck sits on the south face of a massive extinct underwater volcano in the Porcupine Abyssal Plain. The main hull rests approximately halfway down the volcanic slope at a depth of 4,791 meters, 15,719 feet. At that depth, pressure exceeds 4 tons per square inch. The water temperature hovers just above freezing. No light penetrates, yet Bismarck endures. In June 2001, a Russian-led expedition brought 2 Mir submersibles to the site. Among the expedition members were Bismarck survivors Heinrich Kund and Heinz Stieg, returning to see their ship one final time. The following month, maritime archaeologist David Mearns led another expedition that produced detailed mapping and photography. Then in 2002, filmmaker James Cameron arrived with advanced ROV technology capable of penetrating the wreck's interior spaces, capturing footage no one had seen before. Each expedition added pieces to the puzzle, but the crucial evidence had been there from the start, waiting in the forensic details. The wreck told the story once researchers knew how to read it. Hull orientation was upright on the keel, unusual for a ship that rolled to port when sinking. The bridge and conning towers, though damaged, remained with the hull. All 4 propellers were clearly visible. Teak deck planking was preserved, organic material that should not survive nearly 50 years at that depth. The critical evidence was what was not there. Ballard found no internal implosion damage. The compartments were flooded before Bismarck sank. The seacocks had been opened. Cameron's interior penetration documented valves in the open position, exactly as German survivors claimed. Cameron's forensic analysis revealed British fire had already sealed Bismarck's fate. Only 2 instances showed the main armor belt fully penetrated. Long-range plunging fire, hitting thinner deck armor, caused progressive flooding in multiple compartments. Cameron's report concluded Bismarck would have sunk within hours from cumulative damage even without scuttling. The German crew accelerated the end by perhaps 15 to 30 minutes. Both sides were right. British fire made sinking inevitable. German charges ensured their ship would not be captured. The discovery resolved more than just a tactical question about who sank what. It provided closure for families of the 2,190 men lost, many of whom had wondered for decades about their loved ones' final moments. It advanced deep-sea preservation science, showing how cold temperatures and specific seabed conditions can preserve metal and even organic materials at extreme depths. The wreck has become an artificial reef ecosystem, studied by marine biologists interested in how life colonizes the deep ocean floor. For maritime archaeologists, Bismarck represents a time capsule of the 1940s naval technology, preserved far better than most warship wrecks in shallower, more turbulent waters. For historians, the forensic evidence settled old arguments and opened new understanding of how naval battles actually unfolded versus how they were remembered. And for the Cold War generation that finally had access to honest assessment from both sides, it demonstrated how nationalism and propaganda had distorted the historical record for half a century. The human element matters most. Those 2,300 crew members were not abstract statistics. They were teenagers and veterans, engineers and gunners, fathers and sons. The youngest was 16 years old. Their families deserved to know the truth. Now they have it. Under international maritime law, the wreck of Bismarck is property of the German government and is classified as a WWII grave. Germany has categorically denied consent for diving expeditions into the wreck's interior or any salvage attempts. The ship is a memorial, not a tourist attraction. 2,190 men remain entombed in that hull, resting on a volcanic slope 15,000 feet down. There is a lesson in Bismarck's story that goes beyond tactics and technology. Germany built what they believed was an unsinkable ship, armed her with the most powerful weapons available, and manned her with a trained and dedicated crew. None of it mattered. 8 months after commissioning, 8 days into her only combat operation, she was gone. The Atlantic claimed her the same way it has claimed thousands of ships before and since. Technology and armor and firepower could not save her. The wreck sits in darkness and silence now, a monument to the men who served aboard her and the brutal reality of naval warfare. Their story, recovered from the deep after 48 years, reminds us that every shipwreck is more than twisted metal and fading paint. It is a place where people lived, fought, and died, and it deserves to rest undisturbed.